Well, hopefully we'll have the chance to find out. Hey, we got to take a quick look at your drives tonight because there's a couple guys here that really don't care about the Elitlopp. They just want to cash some tickets. Now, in the first race, you're driving number 2, Time Possessed, lightly raced trotter. Okay at Dover. Might have been gapped out in that last start.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. I got to talk to Tony a little bit, but I think he'll be okay, and we'll just see how the race goes.
Well, I know Tony. You'll be listening to Tony.
Yeah,
you won't be
probably.
talking to him. Now, the second race, you got the 4B Terry. By all rights, he should beat these if right, but he hasn't been any good at all.
Yeah, his last couple starts, he's been really flat. Earlier on, right after he qualified, he was good, and Tom said maybe he had a few issues, and hopefully he's got them straightened out and he's back on his game a little bit.
Well, in the third race, you're unveiling your next. I guess you're not unveiling him because we've seen him, but maybe your next big trotter, the Chancellor. 3 straight sub 55 miles, and he's looked good doing it.
Yeah, he's a nice horse, and he's kind of got a soft spot in our heart because we bought him as a yearling and have nursed him through a couple years, and it seems like he's kind of on his game right now, and hopefully there's better things for him.
And he's co-owned by the Arden Homestead stable. They bought in. Has Peter Gary wanted to drive him in the amateur races yet?
I haven't really discussed it with him, so
and don't plan to.
Don't
either.
plan to right now.
Moving on to the fourth race, you've got a really nice 3-year-old Ideal Spirit, qualified in 52, but you were in with some monsters, weren't you? BG's Folly.
Yeah, he was in with some really good horses, BG's Folly and Irv's horse.
Foreign Officer,
and he was right there with them. He's just a green horse. Only had a few starts last year, but I think he's a pretty nice horse, and I figured non-winners of 2 was probably easier than going back in a qualifier against those type of horses.
There were some qualifiers this morning. Check the charts if you're at home on the internet, folks. Last quarters and 25 and change were a regular thing. Foreign Officer paced home in what, 25 and 4 and got beat?
Yeah, I think so. 26 or 25 and 4 and got beat. So there's some really nice 3-year-olds out there.
And it was a nice day weather-wise, too. Now, the 5th race you're taking off, 6th race, Pembroke Motion, the 4-horse, looks like has some braking issues.
Yeah, maybe. So, we're just going to play it by ear and see what we can do there.
7th race, the 6 Marion Bloomer. I see an optional 5,000 claiming line. I don't think you're making up ground on Brennan in this race.
No, I think he's a bit overmatched, but, maybe we can slip up in there and get a piece of it.
8th race, number 7, Cruise and Crimson. I actually kind of like this mare a little bit, and they try to drop her, and because of the conditions, you end up in a pretty tough race.
They add the condition together with the Nauers 6,000, so it ends up being a pretty tough race. She's not too bad a mare, but she catches some tougher ones in there.
We're back to trotters in the 9th, the 10-horse Montana Champion. Last line much better than it looks because Broadway Long Haul romped by like 8 or 9 lengths.
Yeah, she wasn't bad. She kept making up a little bit of ground, and Ronnie said she probably wasn't quite primed for it yet. So hopefully we can overcome the 10 post tonight and get a piece of it. And
in the 10th race, you've got the 9 Fox Valley Largo. The good thing is he can pace in 54 and change. The bad thing is that ain't enough, is it?
That's not enough.
Yeah. Well, you got a couple live ones anyhow, the Chancellor and Ideal Spirit. Well, let's check out some email questions for you. This first one comes our way from Kurt Hansen. Kurt wants to know what you think of the SJ's Photo Colts and what you think of him as a sire, because you bought one at Harrisburg too, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought one because he kind of reminded me of Lucky Jim. He hasn't shown me that yet, but we've got another SJ's Photo Colt that qualified this morning, Mystery Photo, who qualified real good this morning. And I like them, and they seem to get better with age, and they put out a good effort. All right, this question is from Gary. He wants to know what happened to Robert the Bruce, that scary fast pacer you had last year. Robert the Bruce hurt a leg a little bit last year there, and he had quite a bit of time off, and then he went to Delaware to Eric L., and he's actually qualified a couple times. Unfortunately, he's made a couple breaks too, so I think he's in to qualify tomorrow at Chester too, so I wish him the best of luck with him. All right, scary fast horse, no doubt about that. Andy, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck tomorrow in the Sumac Lad Final. Hopefully the Elitlopp works out, and could be a dream season. I hope so. I hope it works out, and thanks for having me here, Sam. You bet. Anytime. And speaking of guests, Hollywood Hayden is anxiously chomping at the bit. We'll bring him in next, so don't go away.